one time, as you mentioned, the two chords, Chogda sang a Calypso, two chords, and Leston Paul alluding to the fact that you were sort of putting out like canned music or something like that for some of the lesser creative Calypsonians. How do you feel about that comment?
Well, it was true to a point, because I think a lot of people was taking me for granted sometimes. Like when they come to do their work, they would like leave everything. They would come with anything and say, use Leston Paul, man. This once you touch this, it will surely be a hit. So you find that they really wasn't working much like with their lyrics and stuff. So they was fully dependent on the music that I was giving them, you know. They were just sing like 3 lines, 2 lines on music. Mm-hmm. And the whole, sometimes like the whole 2 minutes inside I will fill it up with brass lines and horn lines and stuff, you know. And they would say, well, look, I have a bad record, man. My record is a hit because of the music that is in it, you know. And I think that because of that, I guess Chogdas wrote that song.
This studio, when did it come into being?
Well, I would say we started the studio back in '89. It took a year to build. Prior to that, I used to work in my home studio when I was in St. Augustine, in a little back room, and we did some hits out of that room. Was amazing. You know, it's from there I realized that home studio was coming to be a norm eventually. So when I moved down here, I brought the B room across on that side of the studio there on the southern side. And we worked out there. The hits that we did there was like Wine Your Waist, Mama. Tony Barclay did a song with a merchant composition.
One Superpower.
One Superpower.
Causing destruction and terror. They want to rule the world. They want to take control. Carrying on as if they own the universe. They put human rights last and war first. But we must have no fear for the nuclear energy. For there's one more powerful and mighty, and he has dominion over all. I say, we have to answer when he calls. You know why? Because there is one superpower. It only have one superpower. And he's the master, the creator of the heaven and earth. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Iowa George, he had a couple of hits from there. Nap Hepburn. We did a lot of stuff. Charlene's first hit, I Love Manani, we did it in that room too. Mm-hmm. And all that time, we was kind of like feeling out the recording industry. And then I decided that if I really want to take this thing seriously, I have to go state of the art. Mm-hmm. So we started to build this room. This and that part over there for the musicians and stuff, and blend. Right now we could use the 2 studios interlocking. You know, they could record here and we could take effects from there, vice versa. So we have a good setup here, but I don't like to be tied down. So although I have a studio here, that doesn't mean that I don't like to work in anybody else's studio, because
I think that's important.
Yeah. You know, I love to work in New York. I love to do studio work in New York because of many reasons. I always learn something when I'm up there, you know. And I love to work in different environments. You know, it brings out a different feel in the music as well as creativity from within.
Tell me something about Leston Paul and the New York connection, as you touched on New York. How did that come about, and the first album with Get Up and Dance?
Well, actually I was doing some recordings for Michael Gould. He had produced a lot of artists at the time there on B's label. And there's this guy called Hugh Loy who decided that he'll let me do an album with all the hits of Carnival. And he came up with the name, The New York Connection. So The New York Connection actually is in fact myself, and it was Lennox who was doing lead vocals, because Lennox, he lived in New York. And we used a lot of musicians from New York, background singers, etc. And we started that vibe then, and and it's still going strong up to now.
Tell me about coming to touch with a guy like Lennox Piku and using him on the album.
Well, Lennox is a great vocalist. He has a lot of experience, because he was way back in those days with Pop Gear and stuff, together with Edward James and stuff. And he's a nice guy to work with. Right now he's pursuing a solo career. So we're using other singers on the album. Hopefully we might do something with him this year.
A lot of people you have worked with, but one of the persons who testifies as to your prowess is the mighty Trini, and there's a threesome of Devines, Trini, and yourself. Talk about that special combination.
Yeah, well, Trini, we go way back since I used to live in Laventille there, where he had, there's 2 songs that he brought one from Merchant and I think one from Devines. And then the following year we did Curry to Banker.
Leaving me to worry myself sick each day. I went and roamed from dusk to dawn, come back home to find the curry gone. I don't know why she broke our vow, and so I no feeling of how. I have a tabanka, curry tabanka. I have a tabanka. Corita Banca, for her sweet Palori, Dalan Puchilla, Baigan Kalonji, Saffron Masala, Habata Banca, Corita Banca, Habata Banca, Corita Banca, Jabanca like Oparo, Bone like Anchar, in the car.
Who are some of the other people that you've worked with that particularly stand out in your mind?
Well, Merchant, of course. I work with the Mighty Sparrow. Swallow, I did a streamline hits for Solo. It had a time Solo had hits every year, like Party in Space and Subway Jam and all those stuff. And Arrow was a great experience, simply because I learned a lot from Arrow, being like a businessman. I learned that aspect from him. Also learned to accept other people's point of view, because we used to work as a unit, And he did a lot of stuff that stands out in that I would like to like 20 or 30 years from now, I would like to take those records and redo those songs, because when I listen to Hot 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 and Columbia Rock and a lot of stuff, I wouldn't want to boast to myself, but I think being in Montserrat for a month and only hearing one set of tunes in your head all the time, he was one of the persons that got a lot out of me.
See people rocking, yeah, people chanting, feeling hot, hot, hot. Feel the spirit, come on, let's do it. Everybody, hands in the air.
Well, we come to 1995, and an aspect of you, I saw you doing some adjudication for Panorama. I think you've done it before. Tell me, what was that experience like?
Well, the experience at Panorama, it was a very nice experience. What I would say about the whole Panorama scenario, that is something that these guys look forward to every year. You know, the bad thing about it is that after a pan player spends so much nights practicing a song over and over again, you know, and then to come and just be 10 minutes of glory on the stage, and after that, for the balance of the year, you know, that is something that I can't really seem to come to grip with, because it's so much music and energy that these guys put out. I mean, going to be judged by myself, judges like myself and the other judges on the panel, that's a good experience for me, but I'm more concerned about the pan as an instrument and the players more as musicians, not just as pan men, you know. So I think there should be something more than Panorama that these guys could look forward to, because it's too short. It's too short a thing to put all that work into just for one night or 2 nights. Or maybe you might have a bad night that you're practicing good, you play and you get high points, and then there's a night that I might be the judge that night and you mightn't be impressive to me.
Correct.
You know?
And I know that results are official and we accept the results, but even sometimes when you are adjudicating their favorite or haunting memories of a particular tune or arrangement of a particular night that might stick with you. What stuck with you from 95 Panorama?
Actually, when I go into judge like a Panorama competition, I try to put everything away from me. Like, I have a lot of friends who is arrangers that playing with arranging for certain bands and tunes that I did and stuff. So I try to be like neutral, you know, and have a wide ear and listen especially to those who doesn't get that attention. Because there was a band that impressed me very much that final night was Skiffle Bunch.
Approximately how many people from outside of Trinidad do you cater to on an average every year?
A lot. It could be roughly about 50 artists outside Trinidad, from St. Martin Aruba, Antigua, Grenada, St. Vincent, Barbados, Montserrat, even Australia. We did a guy. We did a guy from Australia last year. He came all the way from down and under to record. So I hopefully that we'll be taking music, the soca music, on a wider scale, you know, and trying my best enough, likewise the musician and artists who work here, to try to set a certain standard to the music for it to be accepted. That's what everybody's waiting for.
I know that you work.
Exception.
Yeah. I know that you work almost every day of the year. Who are you working with right now?
Well, I'm working with a guy called Robbie from St. Vincent, Cockroach from Barbados, and a guy called Mr. D from Grenada.
I went to America looking for something better. I found nothing, so I come back to St. Vincent. Left again, went to England, the same corruption. But I try in a different angle. I go to live in the jungle. I got the jungle fever. He got the jungle fever. I can't breathe here. He can't live here. No cure for me. They had the remedy. Got to go to Africa. I have the jungle fever. Jungle fever, jungle fever. Wow, they will come. I have the jungle fever.
The best moment for me so far in my career is like doing what I'm doing, you know. It's something that I wanted to do all my life. I'd never really wanted to be clocking in a card, you know, going to work 8 to 4 and stuff. I could work when I want, stop when I want. Although when the neighborhood is sleeping, we're still working, you know. But I enjoy most of it. It's something that a lot of people look forward to doing a job that they love. You know, that is where I think I have the advantage.